Let us set the scene. It's 2022 and my wife gets the flu. And her first symptoms were typical of most people who get the flu. They get a headache that turns into a fever, they get a cough, they have throat stuff, everything that comes along with getting the flu. And being the good husband I of course was taking care of her and making sure to get her anything she needed. That means I was spending a good amount of time around her. And believe it or not, the best way to get the flu is to be around somebody that has the flu. So I got the flu. Unfortunately for me, my first symptoms were not the same as my wife's. No, mine came in a very different and shocking way. I was feeling just fine and taking care of my wife, and I walk into the kitchen and I do something that I've done every day of my life prior to this. I trusted a fart. But this day was different. This day had a surprise for me I wasn't prepared for. You see, my wife won't look at me the same, all because I shit my pants. When little Elise came around just to see me there, her smile turned into a frown. You see, no girl ever wants to dance with a fool who went and shit his pants. I was sick. Judge me all you want. We've all done it. And I'm tired of acting like we haven't. I want to live in the world where we can all admit that we've all shit our pants at one point in life. Surprisingly, that's not what we're talking about in today's video though. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about the economics and the decision making behind what you should be doing when it comes to selling and buying bulk. Specifically, how the numbers make more sense the more you scale the business. Before we jump into that, my name is Phantom, and I started a TCG business with $0 in the bank. In every video, we go over the ups and downs of running a TCG business. And at the end of every video, we go over the numbers that we did days prior. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. My returning viewers will know that wasn't even the worst story I've told on this channel. We also have a Discord channel where we talk everything TCG business. It's an awesome community where everyone comes together to help each other grow. Discord link in the description. I think the best way to visualize this topic is to go over to the computer and show you there, so let's do that. This isn't a boring video at all. Everyone loves spreadsheets. Shut up. This makes it much easier to visualize. So I buy 10,000 Pokemon cards and I pay a cent per card. It's gonna cost me $100 to buy. If I buy 10,000 Magic cards at half a cent per card, it'll cost me $50. Let's go over Magic first, since the reason why it works is a little different. So when I buy this 10,000 cards of Magic, I'm assuming that I'm gonna probably pull at least $200 worth of value from this Magic bulk. I would say it's a pretty fair assumption that you're gonna pull that unless somebody's heavily sifted the cards already, then it probably would just pull about 50 cards and you'll break even. You can quickly see how it makes sense that you're gonna make money from that very, very fast. You make the $150, thank you, goodbye. Pokemon bulk makes a little less sense at first. When you buy 10,000 cards at $10 per 1,000, you're spending $100. I would say you'd be lucky to get all $100 back just in the cards that are there. Now let's say it's a bad batch and you only make $50 out of those cards that you just bought. You bought 10,000 cards, they only got you $50 worth of value. So you're saying, I'm $50 out, I didn't make any money from that, that was a waste. I've said it before, sure, if the cards just blew up immediately after that, then you're right, they wouldn't be worth anything, but those cards are still worth, at least, as long as you're buying it at a good price, a penny per card to somebody. So I can just then go and sell those cards at a penny per piece for $100. I made $50 because I'm just selling those cards right back. And you might be saying, who's gonna buy your $100 worth of cards for someone that already pulled the value out of it? Plenty of people. A lot of people buy Pokemon bulk not for the cards themselves to sell individually. They put them in lots, they do different things with them. They find ways to make money from them that aren't just doing what we're doing, which is taking the cards and listing them either on TCG Player or eBay. I will say, whenever I'm doing deals and selling bulk that I've already gone through, I do communicate, hey, I pulled the value out of it. What do you plan on doing with these cards? Because if they say, I wanna list this on TCG Player and eBay, I say, then this is probably not the lot you want to buy. But currently, as the time of this recording, Troll and Toad, a massive company, is buying them for 2 cents a piece, so I can sell them for $200 that I bought for $100, and you see I just made $150 just like I did with Magic Bulk. And you gotta weigh it against, is it even worth going through these 10,000 cards when I could just flip it tomorrow? If I could take 10,000 cards, buy it for 100, turn around and sell it for 200 for somebody, why even bother spending the time sifting it? Well, then there's $50 of value or potentially more. You got to think how much of that is worth your time. If you can go through 10,000 cards, which I can go through with Pokemon bulk really, really quickly because you're only pulling out a few cards, I bet that would only take me 2 hours to go through. So you're talking about $25 per hour. That's worth it for me. Is it worth it for you? I don't know. Obviously, that doesn't account for all the pulling and all the things you have to do outside of that. So let's just say closer to $20 an hour, maybe even $15 an hour. I'm still willing to go through it and get the value out of those cards. But you can absolutely just take no time, grab the cards, put them in a box, ship them, take away shipping fees because you're not going to be able to unless you live next to Trolling Toad. So you're still looking at $140 worth of value and you're still making that money back. Now, what about your holos and reverse holos? Let's say I buy 10,000 holos and reverse holos and I buy them for 0.4 a piece. And then that will equal out to $400. I spent $400 on 10,000 reverse holos and holos. Out of that $400, if I just sift through it for value, which currently right now I'm just pushing everything over to TCG Player and eBay, but if I just purely wanted to sift through the ones that were worth more than a quarter, I would say I could probably pull about $200 worth of cards. Now I can't get through 10,000 reverse holos as quick as I can get through 10,000 normal cards because there's a lot more to pull out of value, and I might even have to use a sorter to do that. But regardless, $200 of value, and then you turn around and you sell it for $400 to somebody else. Or right now, I think Trolling Toad's buying them for 8 cents a piece, so that's $800. So then you got to do the math. Is $200 worth your time to actually pull out of 10,000 cards? That's up to you. Where it starts to get a little bit more complicated and where I really want to make this video on is when we start to sell EXs, V-stars, things that are worth more, that you pay more for. Currently, I'm spending 35 cents to buy EXs. We'll just say EXs for it to make it easy. I'm buying them for 35 cents. Let's say I bought 120 of them. It cost me $42 to buy that. If I want to then sell those for $2 a piece online, I'm making $240. Sounds great. Pack up the bags, we just doubled our money. But hold the phone, you didn't quite do so because you got fees. First off, we had to take out what we paid for the cards. That's $42, so we made $198. Next, you have to multiply $240 by 0.1375. That's eBay fees. eBay's taking their cut. That's $33. You sell these on TCG Player, I think it makes a little less sense. We're just going to go with eBay for now. So you subtract that and you get $165. Wait a minute, you still got to pay for shipping. You got to ship out all 120 of those cards in individual packages. That's going to cost you 74 cents a piece at least for an eBay standard envelope. That's not talking about all the fees that you're going to be spending for the actual envelope and the top loader and everything you have to put it in. So we're just not even going to say that. That's $88. So now you're only left with $76.20. You bought 120 cards and you only made $76 on it after fees. But you're still saying, hey, $76, I bought them for $42. That's $76 on top of the $42. That's pretty good. But now you got to compare it to someone who's going to buy these cards online. There are buyers online that will buy EXs all day long for $1 a piece. So let's just say we wanted to sell our $1 a piece cards to them. So then you got the $120 that you just made. You minus $10 for shipping, and for shipping out $120 cards, maybe about $10 shipping depending on where it's going. And then you also have to subtract the cost of the cards, $42. You made $68. You're thinking, why would I not sell it immediately for $68 when I can only make just a tiny bit more, probably not after shipping, to sell them all on eBay, and I have to wait for them to actually sell? So let's pack the bags. We did it. We figured it out. No reason to ever sell cards on eBay when you can make more money by just selling it to the highest bidder. Hold on to them titties of yours. We're not done. This is assuming that you sold all 120 of these cards individually and no one bought any more than just one card at a time. The fees are always going to stay the same, so we're always at this $165 mark. Where this starts to make more sense is if you can get people to buy more cards at a time. Currently, I have a buy 3 get 1 free coupon on eBay, so it convinces people to hopefully buy more than one card at once. Let's say we average out of these 120 cards, they actually buy 2 cards at a time. Then that shipping fee gets cut in half. So it's literally $44.40 because we're only spending half of what we did since we sold 2 cards per. You're looking at $120.60. Now this math starts to make sense. And as you continue to scale this, a lot of those EXs aren't going to just sell for $2. Plenty of them will sell for $2.50, $3, $4. Some even might sell for $5. So we're making double our money by not selling it to the highest bidder if we can just cut down on the amount of times we have to ship cards and we try to convince people to buy more than one card at a time. This is why everyone talks about how important it is to not only just be able to break even by selling one card, but to really make money by selling more than just one card at a time. I don't want to do 25-cent card sales all day long on TCG Player because I don't really make that much money. I make like a dime after shipping and fees. But if somebody buys 40 of those like they did yesterday. I just sold 40 25-cent cards for 10 bucks. After fees and shipping, it'll probably come out to like $7 on my account. And those cards cost me 40 cents to pick up. The more you scale this business, the more cards you have listed, the better chance you have of people buying more than one card at a time, and the better this profit margin makes sense over the long run. If you don't want to do this, you want to sell, you make your money, you can just buy, sell real quick, not even think about it, do that. But if you want some long-term growth and you want to make more money per card, it's significantly better to actually list your cards than just to sell them to the highest bidder. I don't blame you if you want to make the money quick just to be able to get through it, but bulk is a slow game that is consistent, that will make you money over time. It'll make you more money per card, and your profit margins are incredibly good. I don't want to be selling bulk cards the rest of my life. We definitely want to be getting into some collection things because there's more money to be made with less work with collections, and that's why collections make more sense over time. But we don't got that kind of capital. We're working with bulk right now, and this is why bulk works. I hope you guys were able to follow that pretty easily. That's my spiel. Let's jump into the cards that sold yesterday. So we only did 4 orders, believe it or not, and sold all these cards. The first order on eBay was his Mega Venusaur. We sold it for $2 and got 69 cents after fees. The next order was from a viewer, Don Depot. He orders from us all the time. He bought 5 Pikachu Vs. These all sold for $2.49 a piece, so I got $7.67 after fees. Next, I sold these 2 reverse holo cards on TCG Player. They sold for $1.25. And lastly, we sold these 40 cards, but I've got a lesson for you guys to learn that I just learned by doing this. I actually had 3 cards that were not in my inventory. I've actually only listed reverse holo foils so far on TCG Player, yet I had 3 orders for holo foils. When I was first doing my inventory, I wasn't paying very close attention to whether or not they were being listed as holo foil or reverse holo foil, and I've since rectified that, but I had these cards listed as reverse or holo foil, but they were reverse that I had in my inventory, so I actually went through my stash and I found these cards in the holo foil version, so luckily I'm able to still send this order without any mistake, but I did sell all of these cards for $8.51 after fees. Yeah, but don't make the mistake I did yesterday. If you're watching the video from yesterday, make sure you're paying attention to whether or not when you're listing cards through TCG Automate for TCG Player, that you're paying attention to whether or not you're listing a holo foil or reverse holo foil, because they're really easy to mix up. Gotta pack these up, but let's go over to the computer, show the final numbers. So we can see on our handy dandy spreadsheet, we did 4 sales yesterday totaling $18.12, 2 on eBay, 2 on TCG Player. We made $8.36 on eBay and $9.76 after fees on TCG Player. We spent $90. That was the TCG Automate that came out this month, so that's where the expenses come from. That brings our total expenses to $23.9404, total sales minus fees of $26.0650, and our grand total of $212.46. We're going to continue to add to eBay, continue to add to TCG Player, and hope these numbers continue to get larger and larger. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you've made it this far, consider subscribing, check out the Discord link, and we'll catch you in the next one.